Hello everybody, welcome back to Everything Bonsai. My name is Brandon, and in today's episode we are going to be repotting my boxwood that I got from a nursery. So this is going to be a real fun episode. We're going to go ahead and get this into some bonsai soil. Now I noticed it had some bark damage right there. Some bark pieces had fallen off, but that's okay. Over time the bark will grow back, so that's all good. There's another one right there, but it's all good. So let's go ahead and get this out of the pot and start the repot. All right, let's go ahead and get this out of the pot. All right, so we got some roots in here. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and show that to you. So here's some of the roots right here. They're looking pretty good. It's not root bound, but you know, we're gonna go ahead and get it out of the soil and go ahead and put it into some bonsai soil, because once it's in some bonsai soil, this thing is gonna take off and it's gonna grow real strong. And you know, that's what we want for this boxwood right now, you know, is to go ahead and get some strength into it, let it grow real big, thicken up this trunk. And yeah, so let's go ahead and start raking out some of the soil. All right, so we got my chopstick right here, and we're just gonna go ahead and start from the trunk and just work our way out radially, making sure we get all those radial roots. And when you're doing this, you're gonna go ahead and break roots, but that's okay, because the roots that you're breaking are crossing roots, and we don't want crossing roots. We just want all the radial roots. So let's just go ahead and do this all the way around the pot. So boxwood roots, you know, from what I've heard, you know, they're pretty radial already. So this tree is straight out of a nursery. The only work I've done to it is my last video, and that's when we went ahead and did some trimming up here. But other than that, the roots haven't been touched. There's no bonsai work done to this tree whatsoever. So we're gonna go ahead and see how radial the roots are, because I know I had a smaller boxwood, and that smaller boxwood had a pretty radial root base already. You know, most trees that I get from the nursery, you know, the roots are pretty bad. You know, the roots they're all tangled, and there's like a bunch of big roots and then not very many small roots, and they're not real radial. So we're gonna go ahead and see how good this boxwood is with radial roots, and you know, hopefully it is pretty radial, because that would make things a lot easier. You know, that's what you want in a bonsai, is you want radial roots going all the way around the trunk, and you want them to be, you know, real flat. You know, and if you can get a root base like that, you know, that is the ideal root base for a bonsai. Because when you have radial roots going all the way around the trunk, what those roots do is it gets you that flare that comes down and then it flares into the dirt. So it comes down and flares into the dirt, and when you have a trunk that does that, it makes it look real mature, and it makes it look like it's real stable in the ground. And you know, that's what a mature tree looks like. When you go out in the wild and you see a tree, like a real big mature tree, you can see the flare that comes into the soil, and you know, that's the ideal root base that we want on our bonsais. So, and the only way to do that is to get a nice radial root base. So that's what we're after right now in this repot, is starting off a radial root base. All right, we're gonna go ahead and try my root rake that I got, see if I could get the dirt out a little easier. Oh yeah, that's working pretty good. the root is like real sandy like, so my chopstick wasn't really taking a lot of soil out. So now we're using this root rake, see if we can get it out a little easier. And it's doing good so far. So. It's also getting out all the crossing roots. That's good. Alright, so we went ahead and put the tree on a turntable. It would be a little bit easier. I don't really use turntables, but I'm going to use it for this tree. So this root base is looking pretty radial, and I mean, go ahead and look at that. I mean, there's a bunch of roots on all sides of the tree, all angles, real radial. So that's good, you know. That's what we want to see when we're raking out these roots. So that's good. We're off to a good start on this bonsai. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn this over, and we're gonna go ahead and start raking out from the bottom. When you're raking from the bottom, you want to do the same thing. Start from the middle and work your way out radially. So the same thing you did at the top, do at the bottom. You know, and when you're working with big trees, you know, about this size and bigger, you want to go ahead and get the top of the tree and put it off of the side of the table that you're working on, and then just go ahead and start raking. That way that all the branches and everything are in no danger of getting broken or damaged. All right, we're almost done getting all this dirt off. So that's pretty good. And the roots are looking absolutely beautiful. I don't know why the boxwoods grow like this, but they grow perfectly. They're all radial. There's no big roots at all. You know, all the roots are even, like all even in size. There's no like big root that's overgrown the other ones. You know, that's cool. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and go wash these roots right now, and go ahead and wash them, and we'll come back and we'll go ahead and get any last dirt off, and then we'll go ahead and start doing some root work, seeing what roots need to be removed, and see if any roots need to be corrected, you know, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and let's go wash these roots, and I'll be back. All right, so we got the tree back on the turntable. Right now we're just going ahead and getting all the roots out, raking them, making sure they're all even, and we'll go ahead and get ready and start doing the root work. All right, so we got the tree all raked out. The roots are on the table, and we're gonna go ahead and, you know, do some root work, even these roots out, make sure there's no crossing roots. So we got a root right here that we can go ahead and get rid of. We got a root right here. We got a root right here that we'll probably need to get rid of. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get rid of that root. These roots look awesome. These are some real good looking roots. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on the turntable just so we can move this around a little easier. Let's see what else we got. We got a root right here. That root looks pretty good. I was thinking about getting rid of this right here, this big part of the root, but I think I'm gonna leave it just because it's a pretty cool feature to the tree, and if I was to take it off, it would leave this side pretty bald with roots. So for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it. Let me see if I can redirect this root. Okay, that's good. Go ahead and get rid of these little ones. Go ahead and get that right there. Everything, I'm gonna get rid of all this part right here actually. Go ahead and get rid of that. Some more little roots right there. Everything else though is looking pretty good. We do have some more dirt in here. So before we pot that up, we'll go ahead and get rid of all that dirt, and after we get rid of all that dirt, we'll go ahead and pot it up. You know, I didn't really have to do a whole lot to the root base because the roots were already pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this root. That root crosses over. Alright, I see a crossing root in there. Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and get that root right here. There we go. Got that root. Cool, cool. We got a crossing root right here we're gonna go and get rid of. There we go. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and do a perimeter trim. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And then we'll make sure there's no roots sticking up. And then after we do that, we'll go ahead and cut the roots off the bottom, and we'll go ahead and get rid of all the dirt that's left over, and we'll go ahead and pot this thing up. Go ahead and see how that's looking. Looking real good. Now we're gonna get the roots off the bottom. All right, so we got the root base pretty flat. You know, that's a good root base right there. So let's go ahead and rake it out, and then we can go ahead and pot this thing up. Let's go ahead and make sure all the roots are good. They're all nice and radial, no crossing roots. Make sure we get all the roots that have been cut. Make sure those are all out of there. And then once we do this, we can go ahead and pot this thing up. All right, so we got the soil in the pot, and now we're gonna go ahead and place the tree on top of the soil. Make sure there's no dead roots on there. Not dead roots, but roots that I had cut off. Let's go ahead and place this on, and we'll go ahead and smush it down. Looking good, looking good. All right, now let's go ahead and fill this up with soil. Make sure this is in the pot evenly, right in the middle. Looks good. All right, let's go ahead and fill the pot up with soil. All right, we're filling the pot up with soil now. right, now we got our chopstick, and let's go ahead and work the soil in. Make sure that soil is getting all around the roots, and make sure those roots are touched by the soil all the way around, and make sure there's no air pockets. Air pockets are not good for the roots. If there's an air pocket, then that means that root isn't touching any soil, which means that part of the roots will die, so you don't want that. Go ahead and spread that around. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more soil. All right, awesome. We are done with the repot. We went ahead and put it in some bonsai soil. We went ahead and made sure that there was no air pockets. We cleaned up all the roots, made sure that there were no crossing roots. We did a perimeter trim, and the roots looked great. You know, the roots on this boxwood were awesome, and I think this boxwood has a really bright future. I'm real excited, and I'm excited to have you guys on this journey with me. This is gonna be a fun ride, and I can't wait. So that's it for this episode of Everything Bonsai. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment if you guys have any questions, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.